Today we're doing some horse duping. Now, we're not duping with horses, we're duping the horses themselves. As you can probably guess, this glitch is called horse duping. Crazy, I know. And it was discovered by TotK. The process for this is fairly simple and pretty straightforward, and you're only going to need a few things to do it, including a handful of time bombs, roughly 8 to 10 per dupe, a steering stick. The more of these you have, the more tries that you'll get, a spare shield or melee weapon to sacrifice, a roasted Endura carrot, and access to Melania the horse god. Once you've got your hands on all of that, make your way over to this stable here, west of the Kala Citadel ruins. Now, this glitch should work with any horse in the game, including horses carried over from Breath of the Wild saves. It also probably goes without saying, but your horse will need to be registered for this to work. You can't just use an untamed horse. And lastly, we're going to be using Ultra Hand near our horse a few times, so if you don't want to deal with it potentially freaking out and running away from you, then you can just throw the hitch saddle on it to avoid that. So once you've gotten to the stable, just go ahead and take out the horse that you want to dupe. For the video, I'm going to be using my trusty Silverado. So once you've got your horse, go ahead and make your way up the path and follow it to the left when it splits off at the top. Then just keep following it to the left until you come to these stairs. Now, your horse is not going to want to climb these, so we're going to need to channel our inner Dragonborn for a minute. So just pull your horse over to the side, stop it, then hold ZL and walk up that hill sideways. You should be able to get right up and over it, no problem. Once you're up there, just keep to the left and follow those stairs all the way up. Just make sure that you watch out for this Boko. When you get to the top, you may have to deal with some gloom hands if you haven't been here recently, so just take care of them real quick. And then bring your horse over to this area. Next, we need to fuse entangle a steering stick to either a shield or a melee weapon. Since we're already here at a small cull zone, we're going to be doing this with FSFE. If you're on version 1.1.2 or below, then you can replace FSFE with just normal fuse entanglement. Now, if you don't know how FSFE works, it's fairly straightforward. You just take out your steering stick, grab it with Ultra Hand, stand about here, then push the stick against the wall and switch to fuse. Now, this is the tricky part, but the gist of it is you want to press B and L at roughly the same time, then press either ZL or Y to fuse after a very, very brief delay. Now, when that's done, pull up your menu, watch 2 memories, skip through those as always, and then swap to your equipment, unequip the item that you're fusing to, re-equip it, and then close the menu. If you need a more in-depth explanation on how this all works, I've done a full breakdown here in this video, so go watch that one if you need to. There'll be links in the usual places. Next, we need to SDC our steering stick. As always, the easiest way to do that is to fuse the stick to a hoverstone, turn it on, lift it up, and ascend onto it. When you get up there, stand on the steering stick, then drop the equipment that it's entangled to and mount the stick as the menu closes. Remember to mash B the second you start clipping to avoid going through the ground. If you do end up falling through the ground, then just stay on the stick until Link goes into the water and then drown real quick. When you do, you'll respawn back up above ground and none of your items will have despawned and you'll be good to continue. But once that's done, go mount and dismount your horse real quick to unlock your ability wheel, and then throw something at the hoverstone to bring it back down. Now just break those two apart using Ultra Hand, and don't worry when you find out that you can't move your steering stick. That's normal, that's not an issue, we don't have to worry about it. Once they're separated, you can get that hoverstone out of your way easily by just fusing it to something and then breaking it off. So with that done, the next thing we're going to do is set up our horse. First things first, you want to take out 8 to 10 time bombs and stick them together in a pile. 8 should be enough, but 10 will definitely get the job done. Once those are all stuck together, just stick them right about here. Now go jump on your horse, and you want to bring it to right around this area. Holding ZL to move will make positioning it significantly easier. So with our horse in place, the next thing we need to do is fuse that steering stick to our spare equipment. Very important, if your spare item is the same equipment type as the item that you entangled the stick to, then you'll need to drop that entangled equipment right here. Now fuse the stick to your spare item and then drop it and push it up against this wall. If you dropped your entangled equipment, then make sure that you pick it back up after you've pushed that stick item against the wall. Now, before we execute the glitch, we want to test that our setup is actually working, because sometimes it just chooses not to. So hold ZL, or don't, it's really up to you, and walk slowly toward this line. When you cross it, Link should get culled. If he doesn't, you need to move back over that line, grab the steering stick equipment with Ultra Hand, move it away from the wall, walk back over this line real quick, and then put it back. Now test it again, and Link should cull this time. When you do cull, just watch a memory, then close the menu and run back toward the wall. Once you've confirmed the setup is working, go ahead and mount your horse. Now, the next part may be a little bit tricky because we're going to be acting pretty quick. You need to throw an item or shoot an arrow at the time bombs, and then quickly hold ZL and walk forward toward them with your horse. Once Link crosses that line from before, he'll end up getting culled and the horse will get locked in place before the bombs explode. Now, once they do explode, you want to wait until the horse's back legs leave the ground, and then pull up the map and warp to the nearby shrine. When this warping animation comes up, it'll be an indicator as to whether or not you got this right. If Link is mounted on the horse in the right spot during the warping animation, it means you've done it right. If Link is in a neutral mounted position and more than likely clipping through the horse during the warp, it means that the glitch did not work. If everything worked, you should load in and see that the horse you just killed is now alive again and standing in the same spot that it was. However, that horse will no longer have an icon on your map as a registered horse. But once you've loaded in and your horse is still alive, hop on it and take it back down to the stable. What we've done is use culling to interrupt the horse's death, which is why it's still alive, but as soon as a registered horse runs out of hearts, the game marks it as dead and unregisters it. This results in the original horse being marked as wild and the quote-unquote dead horse being added to Melania's revive list. Now, it is important to note that this glitch can be a bit finicky at times, so you might need to give it a few goes before you get a success. If you are running into some issues, try giving yourself a little bit extra free space around the horse during your setup, so that way it guarantees that it has the room to respawn. It is also worth mentioning that it's technically possible for your horse to respawn at the location you originally found it rather than in this spot where you killed it, but I have yet to encounter this even once, so at the very least, it seems pretty rare. But once you make it back down to the stable, just go ahead and re-register this horse. Once that's finished, the last step is to head to Melania and resurrect that quote-unquote dead horse. As a final note, any customizations you had on the horse that we did the glitch with will be reset when you re-register the new wild variant, so you'll just have to reapply those afterward. But that's everything. A huge thank you to this month's channel members: Timber, David Richard, Celestial Kitsune, Losif Kun, Dragon Rage, War Dog, Jason Thompson, Nick Kaczynski, Jilly Vanilli, Quino, Densho Kark, Vivi the Fox, Cyberfet, and George Nirohe. If you'd like to help support the channel, you can become a member for as little as 99 cents a month, or you can subscribe for free. All my links are down in the description in the usual spot like always, but that's all I've got for you today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.